After 2 days of talks in Astana, an agreement on a fourth so-called de-escalation zone in Syria. The United Nations Special Envoy says consensus on ending the fighting was vital as a means of complementing UN-brokered talks in Geneva focused on the political future of Syria.
We really welcome this agreement today because we have been always pushing for de-escalation. That's what the people of Syria have been asking. And the fact of adding new areas to this de-escalation is crucial.
But de-escalation of fighting in Idlib presents a particular challenge. The international community and the Syrian government say many of the groups in Idlib are affiliated to Al-Qaeda and remain viable targets. The Syrian opposition delegation agrees and says they are committed to fighting terrorist organizations, but they are against the inclusion of Iranian troops in monitoring the de-escalation zones.
Originally, they interfered under the pretext of keeping certain shrines. Then they got the militias, and now the number is in thousands. And now Russians turn them into guarantors. And when they are in these posts, monitoring means that they are for peace in Syria, and they are not. They are for keeping the regime and achieving through it, as a pretext, their plan.
The head of the Russian delegation says exactly where the Iranian, Russian and Turkish monitors will be stationed needs to be discussed, but Iran has a right to be involved.
Iran is a guarantee country for the Astana process. Its experts were invited to Syria by the legitimate Syrian government. That's why they had the right to use their observers to monitor the situation in the de-escalation zone.
There has been a reduction in fighting in the de-escalation zone since the plan began to be implemented 4.5 months ago. Now, Russia says that along with the US and Jordan that are already represented here as observers, more countries may soon be involved. More talks are scheduled here for October. And it's hoped that in the interim, conference room pledges are acted upon by all parties in a bid to try and end the violence in these de-escalation zones, where it's believed around 2.5 million people have endured more than 6 years of war. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera, Astana.